Are you looking to improve at pickleball? I put my top tutorials from the last 2 months, that time stamped. I want to save you time. I hope you get better. I hope you save 10% on any paddle. Check description. It keeps us in business. And don't forget to subscribe and have a good day. The forehand drive can be a commanding weapon if you know how to use it. And I do. So let's get started right now. We're using the spin shot ball machine for this lesson because I don't have many reliable friends, and I would say if you don't at home, it works. 12 customizable drills. We're going to do 5, which is forehand, right? You can really do a lot with this, and let's get started right now. I want to bring up one point. My clients drive me crazy with it. To get more power and spin, we want our wrist to be loose at the beginning. No grip pressure. When we come around on it, grip pressure, right? Loose. And then as I come through, wrist comes along naturally because I'm gripping over it. This is another really good tip before I hit some forehands. I need to clear my hips to get power to hit that forehand. How do I do it? I take a step with my right foot 90 degrees right towards you. Look, and what does this do? It clears my hips. Now I can push off, right? The other point I wanted to make, and I did it with the hand grips, if your paddle's here, too firm of a grip at start. We want it here, grip over it. Let's hit some. I got the spin shot. We're doing forehands at first. Pretty simple. Let's see if it works. Adding up. This right foot is so important. It's my secret. It really is. Look at that, and look how much spin I'm getting, right? And look at that ball sink. Look at it sink. That was too hard. I can't tell you how many years I wasted by hitting too hard on my forehand. Try to make it dip. Try to make it go sideways. Whip it. Whip it good. If you want to hit it harder and make it dip more, have a looser wrist. It gives you more leverage, just like in golf on a golf swing or tennis on a tennis serve. If you want to hit it harder, looser grip, and be more explosive like a bow and arrow. I never could enunciate that good, but here's an example of doing the tango. Hitting the serve, running in, looking like an idiot, like I always do. And it's not good, right? When we serve, we want to stay back so we can be driving forward into the court and not looking like a clown like me right here. I know, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's see that in slow motion. I serve really hard, running like I'm serve and volleying in tennis, right? Tennis players. I know. And then I'm falling back, and Cliff doesn't know what to do. #1 station in Orlando, Cliff Pickleball doesn't know what to do. So when you serve, stay back and hit that drive. Again, to clear my hips, this, right? And it's really sinking. What I don't like is this big left step, and I can't quite clear my hips. And you see a lot of 3-5 players do that. Again, like that, right? I can't clear my hips. I'm taking too big of a step. The other thing that is wrong with that huge step is this. When I take it, I'm going towards the sideline now, right? And not vertically into the court. It's a huge problem. Huge. One more time. Big step with that left foot. I'm right-handed. Non-dominant foot is not good. One other tip to get more power is whip it from the side, right? Opposed to coming back, and this can disguise it better as well. I'm coming from the side. I'm not coming forward. This helps put side spin. Something to think about. Make it sink, make it move left to right. It's not so much about power as movement. The first thing I do when I teach my students, I want them to brush up on it a lot, so I have them hit a forehand roll, as shown right here. And see how I'm brushing up on the ball? I have them step back, and again, I'm hitting a forehand now, right? A forehand, have them step back again, and then step back to the baseline. And we're not always running up with the drive. If it's farther back, I'm gonna hit, stay back, and wait for that third shot drop. I think a lot of times people are trying to be too offensive with that drive
when we really just need a fifth shot drop, so keep that in mind.
This is me in the top right-hand corner. I think I hit my drive too hard, but I'm ready for the fifth shot, right? BJ is 6'7". I want to play pro with him. My point is, I'm pretty far back in the court. I'm not going to win the point on him. He has such good reaction times. I got to be ready for that fifth shot. And don't go for a winner when you're pretty far back in the court. I know.
When I have my students do this, the first thing they do is this, right? Because they want to drive it, and it is a drive, but I want them to do this. Look how much spin I'm getting on that. Step back and really just get the motion. Step back again and really just get the motion. If it's far back, we don't always have to be offensive with that drive, right? We're driving it to get an easier fifth shot drop. The reason I do this drill is because of the third shot drive, fifth shot drop concept. If there's a very tough ball coming, I'm driving to get an easier fifth shot drop. So by doing this drill, we don't always have to go forward when we hit that forehand, because if we're not in an offensive position, it's going to come at my feet. So that's why I do this drill. So we have to determine if we can be really offensive with that ball. If there's a ball here that bounces high, I'm going to be really offensive. Tip of the day from Joey, Pickleball Pirates.
That's me in the top left-hand corner driving that ball. Why is it effective against the top players? So they don't have much time to react. I was playing Mike Forster a couple weeks ago. He plays pro and he goes, Joey, I have no idea if that ball's going in or out because you're driving down that sideline. I'm like, Mike, I'm going to try this in the pro and 5-0 tournament. It worked in pro. I didn't do great because I can't dink and I'm working on it.
Another huge mistake I see 3-5 players making is that trying to get power from that upper body opposed to driving with that legs, really brushing up on the ball and making it move down. You're still here? Me too. I got my paddle on the paddle rack. There's like no courts ever. Save 10% on any paddle. On to the next video.
Never forget to have a good day. And look at this one-handed attack that you will have by the end of this video. Let's see it one more time. It's pretty sweet. So pickleball lovers, let's get started right now.
When I'm teaching my students the two-handed attack, I have them start at the kitchen and just basically roll it, right? I'm not pushing it forward, right? It is a drive, but just like Riley Newman, I'm going more up with my left hand. And then I'm going to step back, right? And with that two-handed attack, I'm really pivoting off my left foot. But see how I'm really pushing off my left foot? You could feed it one more time. And then I step back again. There's a reason I push off my left foot. And once I get back to the kitchen, and you'll be doing this with a friend, and I'm going back up and I'm hitting again, just drives. And once I get to the kitchen again, I'm really going to be able to brush up like a Riley Newman attack, opposed to really swinging this way, and that's going to really help your two-handed attack.
This is Riley Newman, top right-hand corner. Look at him drop that handle on that two-hander, right? It's getting really low, and this is exactly what he points out in that video. He goes on further to point out right here. If your paddle's like that, it's not good. It has to be touching the ground. And look at what he says on grip.
First is the grip. Make sure the grip, you're using both hands on the paddle. You don't want to be stacking your hands, okay? You don't want to be right over top. You want to have one finger up on the back side of the paddle, and now that's actually your two-handed backhand grip. You want to use more of your effort and more of the work with the top hand. When you're guiding and using this shot, it's actually more coming from the top hand of the paddle.
With a one-handed attack, it's like a backhand roll. I'm brushing up, right? I'm not going this way. Now once I get back here, the one-handed attack is different in the sense I'm pivoting off my right foot like a tennis player, like Patrick Rafter. And I'll show you right here. Boom. But look at how I can really pivot off and really hit it hard. And again, I'll start right here. I have time, I can get more power going here. But once I get to the kitchen and it's lower, I gotta really brush up, and then I step back, I do it again, and I get used to really either resetting or driving, right? I can reset quick. If I have more time, I can drive. And that's like a Riley Newman thing, and let's keep going right now. Before I put a paddle in my hand, I want to demonstrate something on grip pressure, whether it be my one or two-handed attack. There's no grip pressure right before I swing. This is a one-handed attack. I'm pushing off my left foot. You can go the other way if you have time, but when you're at the kitchen, right? That's kind of why I like to teach it that way. If you have time, you can step and hit it like this, like a tennis player, but when you're at the kitchen, back to grip pressure. No pressure, I'm swinging, and the wrist comes along naturally, and I'm gripping this. Let's put a paddle in our hand. No grip pressure, face a paddle, facing down. Wrist comes over naturally, right? Same thing, two-handed attack, right? Then I put another hand on it, and I like to come off this foot. Now, if you have more time, like a tennis swing, you can come here, right? However, once you get to the kitchen, we got to come off this for the two-handed attack, right? When I'm hitting my one-handed backhand, I'm stepping first with my right foot. I'm right-handed, my dominant foot. Here we go. Boom. Look how much power I'm getting from that hinge, right? One more time. Here we go. Boom. Cutting, almost hit the camera right there. I almost lost $400. One more time. Hinging and hitting. It is so smooth. What about that two-handed attack? I like to really drive off my left foot like Riley Newman. Here it is. It's basically like a left-handed forehand. I just hit the camera one more time. But again, I'm really going off that left foot. And again, it's a lot of left hand, right? And I'm driving, I'm going forward. I can take that out of the air too, right? And I can be really aggressive. More time at the net, I can really be aggressive with this two-handed attack, and it's so sweet, right? Here's a one-handed attack, different view. Again, I'm stepping with that right foot, rotating through it. It's a hinge, right? I'm not stepping too far this way. I want to step towards the court, so when I hit, I'm moving forward, right? It's all about being ready for the next shot. Boom, boom, I hit, I move forward, and that's a one-handed attack. One more time. Boom, I'm falling back, but it still works, right? A little off balance. One more time, set up. This is a great single shot as well. Boom, hit it, move forward. Here's the two-handed attack from a different angle. Again, I'm stepping forward with this foot, hinging off it. Here we go, right now. I step right here, I hinge off it, I'm moving into the court, right? One more time, non-dominant foot, two-handed attack, you saw it right here. Subscribe to Pickleball Pirates. One thing that drives me crazy on the one-handed attack is this, right? I'm swinging too much with my upper body, it doesn't work. One more time. It's not working, I'm not pushing off that foot, right? This is a process step, right foot, turn that shoulder, then go. Here we go. So easy, so good, that's all you need. What do people do wrong with a two-handed attack? They swing too much with this hand, right? It's a two-handed attack. You should be getting more power here, like Riley Newman. Not like that, not like that. Come up more here, right? Here, right? One-handed forehand, here we go. So I just got back from the rec play courts. Worst line calls ever. Save 10% on any paddle, and let's keep going.
This is a slice return top right hand corner. Is it effective? I believe I found out something today in the heat that was 100 degrees. I sweated my you know what off, but I think I found something very important about the backhand slice, and I think we should learn right now.
Before I hit the backhand slice, let me show you how I prepare. I always start at the back of the court, back of the fence. When they're about to hit, I start to walk up, right, to get a head of steam forward. As the ball comes, I step with my right foot and I turn that shoulder. This allows me to clear my hips moving forward. What step did I take after that right step? And then go. Weight is here, bring that back. As I move through it, I am allowing the weight to go to this left foot. I know it's a little complicated, but it's pretty simple. Again, right foot here, I step. It's a pretty severe cut down. However, if I'm not moving forward, it's gonna pop up, and that's why this weight distribution move is so important. Step with the right foot, I'm moving forward. At the last second, as I come, that. and I'm almost pushing this way with that left foot. So one more time, right foot here. Weight is on the right foot. As I come through, I'm almost sliding this foot this way.
This is me 6 months ago, and I'm not doing that move with the left foot. I'm a lot more efficient with the left foot move that I'm teaching you. It is really a game changer, that's what I'm saying. Let's see it one more time. I step with that right foot, right? But I don't quite do that move that I'm showing you, right? I've started doing it. I get quicker to the kitchen. I get way more movement on that slice. I would really, really recommend it. Back to video.
That's allowing me to go vertically into the court. Let me demonstrate right now with the spin shot. So we start at the back of the fence. We take some steps forward to get ahead of steam, right? When the ball's coming, that. Here we go. Start at the back of the fence, ball's coming. And look at that, right? And that's beautiful, that's beautiful. This is what all my clients do at first. They stay right on the baseline and it's gonna pop up, right? Because if we're not moving forward and kind of going down on it, it's gonna pop up. One more time, I'll show you. Right? But if we have this move, we'll be penetrating through the court, we'll be at the kitchen, the slice will stay low and really give our opponents trouble. Now what I would say, you can be floppy with this shot. It can kind of be crazy. You can be crazy with that wrist on that backhand slice. And if I want a crazy backhand slice, I really open up at the end. It's penetrating through the court, staying low, and is extremely effective. That wrist at the end, I'm letting it go, right? Locked, and I let go through impact. One more time, start the fence. We step with that right foot, and then really go through it. Again, I'm letting that wrist go.
Take a look at this. Look at me set up. It's not running to the ball. I want my momentum to go forward. So where do I need to hit the ball to have my momentum move me forward so I can get straight to the kitchen, because that's the point of pickleball? When I'm hitting that backhand slice, I'm stepping forward with my right foot. I'm right-handed. That gets my shoulders to turn. As I come to the ball, I start chopping down. And as I open my shoulders up, I should make contact. You see a lot of people open their shoulders up before they make contact. That opens the face of the paddle way too high, and it goes high. Have you seen that? I've not only seen it, Joey, I've done it, but I've done a beautiful backhand slice return as well. Start high. Start that paddle really high above your shoulder. Drive that shoulder down. Rotate those hips through it. Loose wrist.
Again, I'm letting that wrist go right here, basically, right? As I open my body up, I'm letting that wrist go. It's locked here. One more time. And then I let it go. I let it go about right here. And that will get more spin and be more effective. Straight on view, start of the fence, couple small steps, right foot, and then that move, right? One more time, start at fence, couple small steps for head of steam. As the ball comes, stepping in with that right foot, and then I'm going through it. As I get here, I'm releasing that wrist completely. One more time, start at fence, couple small steps. As the ball's coming, right foot, oh, just missed. Here we go, start at fence, small steps. Boom, right? I almost hit the camera, $400 down the drain. As you're doing this, it's really important for you to really be moving forward and drive the ball down, because the paddle should be pretty open, right? Again, if you're not moving forward, it's gonna pop up. Here it is from the other side. When I step with that right foot, the back's turned. This gets me to clear my hips. Start at fence, couple small steps, and then go, right? Really simple. One more time. Start at fence. This right foot gets me to clear my hips, and that was wicked. As I get to right here, I open that wrist. Well, that step, it's kind of a tennis move, right? If I'm a little farther out wide, I can push with my left foot, almost like dinking on the kitchen. I'll just show you. You can do that too if you need to push yourself into the court on that slice. But if you're moving this way, I would really advise this footwork. I really would. Let's try one more time.
You see a lot of players do that, right? They're not taking that right step foot. Mark does it here too. Not horrible, right? Sometimes you need to do that. and it's effective. One mistake I see people do wrong with the backhand slice, the face is way too open. It's going to go straight up. Start it a little higher, chop down, lead with that shoulder, and it's going to penetrate through the court more. It really will. Look at that high take back. Look at the shoulder lean down. I lead with the shoulder, and my hips open up as I hit it.
One more time, walking up, everything's so simple. Put in slice, keep it in low, and then go. Honestly, if you're still not getting better at pickleball, just watch the last tutorial. But we're gonna go on to the next, save 10% on any paddle, and thanks for watching. Resetting in pickleball is exactly what it sounds like, right? We don't have the advantage on the point, so we want to reset it so we can start the point again. I like that. Now it gets fun. I'm going to show you a pickleball situation, real life, and you're going to have to decide whether you reset or counter. Speed it up, counter, or reset, lay back, reset the point. Take a look right here. Freeze, frame. What would you do?
I would have countered as well, however, little lower, better ready position, tough to reset that ball.
When we hit that counter, we don't want it to go out, right? Because we're speeding up an already aggressive ball. So we should probably target our opponent's body so they can't move out of the way if we're hitting really hard. Right hip, right shoulder for a right-handed player gets them to chicken wing, right? It's easier for a pickleball player to do this for the most part. Take a look at this situation. Would you reset or counter?
You gotta counter this speed up down the middle, speed it up harder down the middle.
When you counter a shot in pickleball, it means you're speeding up an offensive shot already, right? So you're taking the initiative because you don't feel your opponent sped it up correctly, and now you have the advantage, right?
That's exactly what happened this point. Mark sped it up. Mike Forster, who plays pro, sped it up hard down the middle, and Brooks did not reset correctly. Really good player. Love you, man. Give me a call.
It's a high-level shot that's tough to master, and at the 4-5 and 5-0 level, you better be able to do it because we don't always have the advantage on the point. Very tough to speed up that, right? Lower than the knee. Check this point out. Freeze frame right here. What would you do? Counter or reset?
That's a tough one. Mike Forster can reset this. He tried to be too cute. I would have sped it up.
Counter. I'm starting to like you. You can come back and subscribe. One more thing, if your opponents hit a lot of out balls or have slower reaction times, we want to counter a lot more, speed the ball up, take the initiative because they're going to hit out balls, right? And we're going to look really fast because they don't have discipline. And we do. Take a look at this point. Freeze frame right here. I would say reset.
Couple reasons I would say this. Brooks is a very good resetter. Not as quick as Mike Forster nor Cliff. Reset that ball all day.
Should we reset or counter when we're in the transition area? If it's lower than the net, we most likely want to reset to get to the kitchen, which is the point of pickleball. If it's higher than the net, you can go ahead and speed it up. Depends how fast your opponent's reaction time is, right? But we most likely want to get to the kitchen area. One more thing, if we speed it up from that transition area, our opponents have more time to hit it at our feet, right? So why would we? Let's just get to the kitchen.
That's exactly what Mike's doing. He's trusting his resetting capabilities so we can get to the kitchen, what you're supposed to do in pickleball.
So in essence, when we counter in pickleball, we're taking the initiative. We're hopefully hitting it at that feet or being aggressive and going at the right hip or right shoulder or directly at that body. Why do we want to go directly at that body? So it's tough for them to get out of the way. So when we counter in pickleball, we're taking the initiative on an already started point, correct? We still feel like we have the advantage to speed it up. However, resetting is the exact opposite. We want to reset the point because we don't feel like we have the advantage. I think that makes sense. And when the ball goes down at your feet and you hit it hard, physics says it's impossible not to hit it out. Or maybe geometry. Mr. Clancy, the other thing we can do when we counter is to hit the ball at that feet, angle it down, right? Inner foot even works better because we get them to do that. I hope I illustrated that point. If our opponents speed it up and we're here, do we want to counter or reset? I would say reset because our probability of speeding it up and winning the point is low. So reset, get back in the point. However, if our opponents hit a ton of out balls, we can just slam it at them. And if they don't have discipline, we can win. But at the higher level, 5-0 level, I think we need to reset a lot more. Remember, if you have any questions, leave it in comments. I'll try to answer. And we'll keep going right now. I was playing pickleball senior pro Jamie Onsens this morning, and he gave me the most incredible tip on the backhand putaway. And it's going to blow your mind. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day. Take a look at a couple of Jamie's backhand speed ups.
I know the high backhand putaway can cause a lot of trouble. It's tough to be accurate, but why does Jamie hit it with so much power and speed and accuracy? I'll break it down right now. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day. This is so wrong what I did right there. I went straight ahead of me, right? And that's the point of this video. Take a look one more time. Straight ahead. I'm not getting the power nor accuracy I deserve. I know. I'm gonna break down. It's gonna make sense. I know.
Before I give you the tip, let me ask you a question. What do most 3-5 and 4-0 people do wrong on that backhand putaway? They hit it too high, right? It's easy to miss hit it. You're going straight out. What about if you went to the side? And that's what Jamie Onsens is telling me right here. Really good point, right?
Think of more of a swiping motion.
Even with these mid-range backhand speed ups, he's coming more to the side, getting more power. I almost throw myself off balance by doing this sometimes, and I hit the top and bottom of the paddle. I really like his way, I really do.
I want to be like him when I grow up.
Alpha Jack. Yes. Jamie Onsens pulls me to the side and says, Joey, you're going too far. This way, you have to be too accurate. What I do is come more to the side. I can hit down and out on the ball. He goes, most attackers attack and come towards the center. And that's true, right? He goes, I'm hitting out wide. And it's really helping me win a lot of tournaments. And he does.
This is insane how lethal this backhand can be. Look at Jamie this point.
I did something.
And I do something. Just a little something. Joking aside, I did get a lot more power off the backhand when I tried it the way I'm telling you to do, the way Jamie's doing it right there, super slow motion, and he's really fast.
Pickleball lovers save 10% on any paddle. Keeps me in business so I can keep doing this. 3-5 and 4-0 players go too far this way and push it more up, opposed to going more this way and pushing it more out and down. One more thing, obviously I said there's a higher margin for error, but also you can get more power coming from the side. I tried it in rec play this morning and I think you should try tomorrow. And ever wonder how to set up a backhand roll with a really good offensive backhand dink? He does it right here. However, his roll, he's coming a little more this way, right? Put in side spin and top spin, opposed to just top spin and hitting a little harder. Yeah?
Take a look at this point.
And being fast on that backhand block is so important. Look how fast he is, right? Going more swipe in motion opposed to what I'm doing directly right after him. I'm going more this way, throwing myself off balance. Tough to watch, I know.
This point is the perfect illustration of why Jamie gets more power than me. He goes more sideways, left to right. I'm going more parallel, up to down. And he gets more power, more accuracy, and he doesn't have to worry about many things. So I'd recommend trying this in a rec play court near you today.
By doing this tip, you look more dynamic, you get more power, you look more like a battle cat, like He-Man. I love that growing up. So maybe we should be a little more offensive. That video was okay. I think this one's better. Save 10% on any paddle, and let's keep going. Watch this point. I had to pay for that wall. I know I would not recommend that at home, but I would recommend the forehand speed up. What makes it dynamic? Let's take a look at this point. Dead dink, stop the tape right here. My forehand speed up is very good because I hold it to the last second. I'm going, I stop. If they back up a little, I throw an offensive dink at that inner foot and get a pop-up to put it away. If they move away from that sideline, I throw it down the sideline. If that middle's open, I throw it down the middle. And I can dink middle as well to get a pop-up. There's so much I can do. Let's see.
And that ball was actually going out, right? But if you hold that shot to the last second, it works. And look at this point.
Congratulations, you've recognized a dink that floats. What do? You see that middle's open, right? You got that player pulled out wide. I would play that middle. Let's see what he does. And he's ready for that next shot, right? He speeds it up and he's ready. He's a 5-0 to pro and he's very, very smart. Chase, you are.
Now check out this point.
Here is exactly what I'm talking about. I have Chase frozen like a deer. I could do whatever I want. I choose to do this, but I could do that too.
Lots of times, if you speed it up hard, it's going out, so keep that in mind. Let outballs go. If it's high, let it fly. I know. Now check this point out.
And I'm not going to mention his name because he did something wrong. He recognized a dead dink, right? Andres recognized a dead dink and sped it up. You see that, however, his paddle's down here, and on the next shot, he's not ready. He actually hit this forehand roll to get this, but he wasn't ready for it. Question for pickleball lovers everywhere. If the ball's below your knee, should you speed it up? Probably not, right? But if you're going to speed it up like Andres is doing, should you speed it up that fast? Or look for an off-speed changeup at the right hip or right shoulder for a right-handed player to get him to chicken wing. In my mind, I made a mistake. I hit a good offensive speed up. I hit my spot, right hip, right shoulder for a right-handed player. However, this reset is very common. I should be ready for that. I should never miss it, especially playing a 5-0 player. If you're a 3-5 or 4-0 player, I would practice speeding up and then resetting. Find a friend and do this. It really helps. A dead dink is hit. A dink without a lot of spin and speed. It bounces above the knee, and Andres has the green light. He speeds it up, and he's ready for the next shot. That's what we want, and we have to continue the point to win it, right? And we do. I'm lucky I have no kids because I think Andres is enough. 3-5 and 4-0 players, they hit it too hard. They hit through the ball instead of brushing up on the ball. And Chase is a 5-0 player. He's really disciplined. He saw where his opponent was hitting the ball, how hard they were swinging through it, and he let that ball go. That's what you have to do at home. Practice in rec play near you. Now, if you don't have a super powerful forehand roll or just can't get over it, this misdirection that AJ hits is pretty amazing. He's looking for the pop-up. He's not trying to win the point, and if you watch tape, he gets it all the time, just like right here. And look what Chase can do with his forehand speed up. Boom, he just blows it by me. And you know what? Hitting at someone, that's a fine play. He's targeting right here, and you shouldn't apologize, Chase. You just shouldn't. And take a look at this point. It happened last week. I might not like the ending. You're improving already? Let's keep going. Save 10% on any paddle, and here we go. Everyone remembers Squid Games, red light, green light. Green light, you had a chance to run. You can speed it up, kind of like pickleball. Red light, you were in trouble, so you better just play defense. Pickleball lovers, I have a plan. Let's get started. Don't forget to have a good day. Green light. This concept of red light, green light, simplify things, right? We're not thinking about too many things, and we can attack when we have the green light. And if they hit a really good push or offensive dink, it hits past the kitchen. What do we want to do? Lift that dink shallow in the kitchen so they can't attack. Red light.
This ball, we saw it in the opening. I believe it's unattackable. I made it red. Is this next dink attackable? Not in my mind. However, an offensive dink was hit off it. Right decision. What should you do in this position? If you're falling back, you probably shouldn't speed up. Lob works, dink middle works, and this shot I'm gonna hit works as well. If it's windy at a tournament, don't hit this shot. The wind will push it out.
Save 10% on any paddle.
If you're in this position at home, you're probably already a 4-0. You recognized it was unattackable. You took it out of the air to take your opponent's time. Very good. And since the unattackable dink was quickly identified, an offensive dink could be hit off it.
Red light.
Red light, we can't speed it up, but we can hit an offensive dink, and that's what's done. That's pickleball, right? Playing the odds to get a dead dink so we can win the point. I'm giving the green light to this shot. It is questionable. The ball hit the kitchen line. However, that's me, and I'm very good with this shot. Very good. For most people, probably not the best decision. You can't live in the past. It's sped up, and that's what happens. I have to reset. I'm second guessing the speed up. That's what I'm saying. If you watch a lot of video like me, this happens a lot. You speed it up at the wrong time. You have to reset. That could lead to a dead dink. Here, I take my medicine, get back in the point with an offensive dink. Right, red. Can't speed that up. Another beautiful dink, unattackable. And it's such a good dink, it might just lead to a dead dink, right? Green light. No, maybe. I don't know. Is this attackable?
If you try to speed up a dink too low, red light.
No. Ankle level, lower than the knee. He makes a really good move. He dinks middle. This is so amazing. Causes confusion. And watch what happens next.
If you hit a good offensive dink at that inner foot, you might get a pop-up. Green light.
This dink was taken out of the air, but it would have hit the inner foot and did cause, dare I say, a dead dink.
And if it's a green light, you better hit right here. You missed.
Green light, it's recognized, and speed up initiated. Mark and I came up with the red light, green light concept. We're going to keep the videos coming. This is helping me so much the last couple of weeks. And pickleball lovers, it actually makes sense for once. Red light?
So I just got back from the rec play courts. No dinking at all, just all bangers. Save 10% on any paddle, and let's keep going.
The third shot is the most important shot in all of pickleball, but how do we make the right decision? When do we drop? When do we drive? What about a third shot lob? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's learn right now.
Of course, there's many factors that will affect your choice. Number 1, is the return deep? Number 2, does it have spin? Number 3, which way?
Dylan Frazier. If I was Dylan, the factors influencing whether I drive, drop, or lob would be this. Deep return in favor of driving. Not much spin in favor of dropping. It's windy, and it is a wiffle ball he's hitting, so that is the deciding factor. And look what an easier fifth shot drop he got. Right in the wind. If you are drive dropping, I would advise a third shot drive at 60 to 80%, followed by a fifth shot drop a lot closer in the court. Hit it high, lots of spin.
Number 4, how high is the ball? Number 5, where is your opponent on the court? Are they at the kitchen already, or are they still back? And number 6, how well does your opponent handle drives? Do they have really fast reaction times? Do they have a good overhead? Should I lob them more?
Dylan Frazier sets up for a third shot. What's he gonna hit? Look at that arrow. Both players on the opposite side are somewhat set, right? Not worth driving. And honestly, I watched and filmed this whole game live, and I would say he doesn't have to drive. He won most of the dinking battles in this game. That's what I'm saying. I know. However, when you get this short ball, you have to drive. Percentages dictate it. So if you get a short ball in the court that's higher than your knee, I would drive it all day long. Seriously. Unless, well, let me keep going.
Number 7 has to do with you. How comfortable do you feel driving, dropping? What is your specialty? Which way's the wind blowing? I know, it sounds really complicated. I meant to make it sound that way. Let's simplify it right now.
What would you do with this third shot? What would I do? I would drive it all day long. Why? It's windy, number 1. It's a deep return. It would be a tough third shot drop. Honestly, she should have just hit it less hard to Dylan Frazier because he handles speed so well. This is me, and my opponents are hitting out balls. If your opponents are hitting out balls, drive all day, even on Sunday. You could tell your parents. One more thing, when you drive down that line, your opponents don't have much time to decide whether they're going to hit it or not, so they're going to hit it a lot. And that's why I got beat really bad by Joey Farris, because we hit out balls all day long and made them look really good when they're already really, really good. If it's higher than your shoulder, let it fly. If it's higher than your shoulder, let it fly. Say it with me right now. I know.
On the third shot, there's some cases when you actually have to drive. Here's one. If your opponent's return short and it bounces high, you're up in the court, take that drive. Probability-wise, you're going to win the point. And if you don't take that drive, you're really letting your opponents off the hook. You really are.
Don't hit short returns in tournaments. Even Dylan Frazier, and he's highlighted fastest hands in the game, but he still can't defend that. I know.
Another occasion to drive is when your opponents don't quite get to that kitchen area. We can drive it at that feet. We get to the kitchen and we spike it. I love it. If you hit a really good drive and it draws a pop-up, is your partner going to be that to shake and bake? Are they going to be pinching middle to put it away? Because if not, it's a wasted drive.
If you're a really good driver, make sure you have a partner that can shake and bake like that. That's shake and baking. He's pinching middle, the ping. That's what it means. He's pinching middle right on that kitchen line. If you're a really good driver, get someone that can shake and bake and pinch middle for you. This is a really good time to drive because the opponents are not at the kitchen, right? Hit it at their feet. Get a pop-up. Maybe your opponent will even shake and bake. Did you find one yet? I really hope you did. Joking aside, it is so frustrating when you hit a really good drive and your partner's not there to put it away.
So those are 2 situations where you definitely should drive. What are some other times you might drive? 1, the return came back really deep and you don't quite feel comfortable with that third shot drop. I would drive that at 80%, especially if that ball has spin, and then drop that 5th shot.
This was such a good return to the backhand, right? Ball is deep. Opponents are somewhat at the kitchen. I would drive at the weaker player's backhand to get an easier 5th shot drop. Don't complicate things. Don't try for too much, 60%. That's a situation. And look at this situation. That's me doing the tango, being creepy, creeping up on the court. Then I have to go back. Don't do this.
2, your opponents can't handle your drives. It's too fast, it's dipping too much, they don't have the reaction times, so drive it all day long, and it would help if your partner supported you by shaking bacon. So tell them, if the wind is in my face at a tournament, I drive with heavy spin all day long. It dips a lot against the wind, has less chance to go out because the wind's blowing the opposite way. And that third shot drop into the wind is very difficult, so drive that third shot to get an easier fifth shot drop. Another time to drive is if your opponents are hitting out balls. Balls above that shoulder. If it's high, let it fly, but if they're doing it, drive it all day long.
Don't hit out balls. I showed you that earlier, but take a look at this point. It's a really good example of driving at the weaker player's backhand. His partner is being proactive. By shaking bacon, you get your opponents to change shots. They miss shots. It works. I would suggest in rec play to try to shake and bake more. Try to become more dynamic.
Now let me ask you another question. When should you drop? 1, if that return is shallow in the court, you run into it, it's below your knee, don't drive that. I would just drop it. You just don't have time. It's not high enough. 2, if your opponents are really good at handle drives, you probably should drop. We addressed that already. If they return with that crazy angle out wide, I would drop to give yourself time to get back in the point. I believe it's reckless to drive in this situation.
In this example, the return was hit out wide. I would not suggest to drive in this situation. Drop to get back in the point. It's low percentage to drive. That's exactly what she does. She's a pro. And you see a lot of 3-5 and 4-0 players try to drive that. They get nervous, right? I do sometimes. I know. I'm just a minute.
Some other factors which also should be taken into the equation, whether you drive or drop, is the wind. Some people prefer to drive with the wind. Sometimes it's different. It's what you like, to be honest. As you get better, you'll realize your opponents will really punish you for bad drops, even missed by a small margin. Lots of times they'll really roll that forehand and backhand. I would suggest to drop low to that backhand. Easier said than done, I know.
Watch this point. Look at BJ. He's in the top left-hand corner. I think he's 6'7". He's really nice, but he does have really long arms. If you miss your drop by even a small margin, he might do this, right? I know. This is John Sperling, world-renowned coach John Sperling, top right-hand corner. His drop was not perfect, but he did get it to the backhand, so they didn't quite put it away. If he dropped in the middle, they might have really crushed that forehand. So think about it. Drop into that backhand when your opponents are attacking is a good play. This is such a good drop, right? And it causes an error from Brandon Hutchman. An awesome player, but if you hit with a lot of topspin with that drop, it works. And here is an example of what I'm talking about. This is Mark Napatovich in the blue shirt, top right-hand corner. He makes the drop pay. It wasn't a bad drop. Take a look in slow motion. However, if you know Mark's game, hit his backhand, right? You have to know your opponents.
You often hear the third shot lob is for lower level players, 4-0 and below. AJ Kohler is a pro. He hits that shot. With the new paddles, you can get mad spin. It is an offensive weapon. Of course, it can't be used for a third shot drop or third shot drive replacement. However, if used sporadically, it can drive your opponents crazy and will cause major psychological damage on your opponents. I love my producer.
In this situation, I would not have done a third shot drop. I believe a third shot lob, yes, I said lob, would have done well. Why? Because both opponents are already at the kitchen, plus they're playing against the wind. She can throw that lob up, and it only has a small chance of going out. This is a good lob, right? Get out of trouble, lob to get an easier fifth shot drop. This is not a topspin lob. We'll get into that. Hold on. This is a defensive lob, right? It doesn't have topspin. This is starting to get a little more offensive. Ed Perez throws up a lob. Third shot, topspin lob. You see it a lot more in the pros today. You really do. And this is a heck of a point. I just had to put this whole point out. I love it so much. This is an example of a really offensive topspin lob that Mark gets all the time, and I don't play with him anymore. I might play with them tonight. Just wanted to throw this whole point out because I like watching pickleball, but it's effective, right? It's an offensive shot. It has topspin. Let's see it one more time in slow motion. He really brushes up on that ball. And Emily really makes a phenomenal play just to get that back. She might play pro, but most people couldn't even get that back.
The most effective topspin lob is one brushed up quickly. It's called an offensive third shot lob. And it really messes with your opponents because it has so much spin, it comes down so quickly, and it requires extra effort to hit it. So I tried in a rec play court near you today. I love it. When to use this shot? I would say if your opponents do not have a good overhead, it'd be a great time to use this shot, and you might be surprised. Most 4-5 players don't have the best overhead. Some really do. It depends what sport they come from. Volleyball, tennis will.
Another offensive third shot topspin lob by Mark Napatovich, and look at Eric Onsens. He's a tennis player, collegiate tennis player. His dad was a pro, and even he has treble hand on it. I know his partner caused confusion, but isn't that what third shot lobs are supposed to do? Get your opponents frustrated, off balance, and if you're really down in a tournament, I would suggest to throw up some lobs into the sun or against the wind. You can do it with the wind. I just don't like to do it. Personal preference. Different strokes for different folks.
So if you're really struggling in the dinking battle, you're driving and they're using your power against you, I would suggest the third shot lob to change the dynamics of the match and cause mental trauma on your opponents. I'm just saying they're going to get really frustrated. I don't even play with Mark Napatovich anymore. He lobs all the time. It's so annoying. If you're playing against the wind, I would suggest that third shot lob. A lot tougher for that ball to go out. It'll come down a lot quicker.
These are all examples of drive, drops, or lobs. You should never miss that drive in the net. Always clear it by a foot, right? Good drop. Nice drive, drive, drop. I like it. Beautiful drive. Drive that short ball. Another short ball, drive that.
At the higher levels, it's very tough to win without getting to the kitchen, right? So why don't we just drop and get this party started?
This is a bad drive by Dylan. Drove right at the forehand. It's a left-handed player. He got confused. Don't do that. Here is the most important thing in pickleball other than the third shot drop. Don't hit out balls. This example, Dylan has a very nice drop to get to the kitchen to win the dinking battle. So keep that in mind. You'll win a lot of free points on your drive, but as you progress, you have to win the dinking battle.
When not to lob, if you're playing a volleyball player, someone really athletic, you just know not to lob even if you're really good at it. If it's really gusty at a tournament, I don't lob a ton because it is a wiffle ball we are playing with and it can go out easily. If you like the lob idea but don't quite know how to lob, I would check this video out. You're still here? Me too. I got my paddle on the paddle rack. There's like no courts ever. Save 10% on any paddle. On to the next video. I know women do it so much better than men. They really do. They make better decisions at life and especially in pickleball while lobbing. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day.
This is Women's Senior Pro, happened in Delray a couple weeks ago. They hit some amazing lobs, and I love this first lob. Strategic, right? If you're watching at home, this is a perfect way to utilize lobs, and another lob in the same point. It's not overused. It wins the point, right? And look how well this lady disguises this lob. If you're watching at home, this is what you want. No take back, no towel. Look at that arc on that lob, right? Nice and high, and it's very tough to hit in the wind in a tournament. And this is really good defense. That sky hook, if you have a bad rotator cuff, it's great because you don't really hurt that shoulder. And this is the second lob coming right here. So good. And that's very tough. It's windy. Usually you go cross court. It leaves more room for error. But she didn't because she is a boss.
The key to the lob in pickleball is to have no tells, right?
That is the key of pickleball, Joey. Very good. Look at the woman in the top right-hand corner. Look at that dink she just hit because she's going to hit a lob that looks exactly the same. Coming right here. How good. It gets her out of trouble. It looks like a dink. It catches her opponent off guard. What else can I say? It's like Nirvana, baby. Look at this 1 more time. It's genius because she's getting pushed back, right? She can either dink middle, speed the ball up, or lob. But speeding the ball up would be a horrible decision, and lobbing worked. So do it once in a while.
First of all, third shot lobs do work. They are effective. They should be used more, but at the higher levels, you're going to see lobs from the kitchen more, so we really have to disguise it as a what? As a dink, right? To fool our opponents.
This is a third shot lob to be used in the wind when you're in trouble, when you're far back on the court. The third shot lob could be offensive if it's hit with a lot of topspin. However, in this example, she was on the defensive, made the right play, I would say, right? She was in trouble, get back in the play, don't miss a drop in the wind.
And Joey, you ask, where should I hit the lob on the court? I would say cross court. It gives you more room. If you hit it straight back, it might be more effective, but it might go out.
Everyone knows a lob's coming, but is it going in or out? And which way is the wind blowing? Because that dictates pretty much everything. There's a wind arrow, and let's see what happens. Yeah, the wind is so important. We must know where it is blowing at all times. It's like your best friend and worst enemy.
Now, obviously, if one of your opponents is glaringly weaker than the other, I would lob that one all day, especially in a tournament. And if we're lobbing it to that person all day, we might as well lob it to that backhand, right? It's tougher to hit. Speaking of tournaments, it's going to be really windy. So when should we lob? When we're against the wind, it's a lot easier to lob with topspin because it gives the pickleball time to come down. If we lob with the wind's going to really take it quickly. So that's something to keep in mind.
How do you tell if your opponents have that weight on their front toes? If you just try to speed it up last point, of course, following point. And this is genius, this is pickleball. You keep your opponents off balance. She knows what they're guessing and she hits a lob, off speed changeup, whatever you want to call it. To defend that, a scorpion would have worked.
No take back, or if you do, to have some type of move, something to think about. I would videotape yourself doing it. What I would recommend, go to the park with your pickleball friend and have them feed you 20 balls, videotape them, right? And try to see, can I recognize that I'm going to hit this lob opposed to a dink? Because if you can recognize it, surely your opponents can.
It's tough to put the ball away if you lob to someone's backhand. Lobbing when you're out of position is a good play, and that's a good situation of when to lob. We'll go back, but take a look. She's getting pulled out wide. Most people speed it up in this occasion. Let me rephrase that. Women are better at everything. Guys make mistakes all the time, and women are better at lobbing, period.
I hope you learned a little something. I love doing this so much. Save some money on paddles. It keeps us in business. Check the description. Pickleball lovers, take a look at that video. It was so good. But let me ask you a question. In tournaments, do you lob more than rec play? Because people get really upset, and I'm trying just to keep you here a little longer. And pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day. So I just got back from the rec play courts. Worst line calls ever. Save 10% on any paddle, and let's keep going. In Gremlins, you poured water on a super cute furry creature named Gizmo. And I'll do this at the end of the video. I just want to finish it, but it would multiply. That'd be more and more, and they'd eat you alive. Just like in pickleball, when you hit your opponent's outballs. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day.
I didn't know not to give Gizmo water. He would breed gremlins and then they would multiply, just like you shouldn't give bangers the opportunity of hitting their outballs. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you could dodge a wrench, you surely could dodge a ball.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Do you know what the most important shot in pickleball is? It's not hitting an out ball, a ball that's going out. So it's not really a shot. And statistics have showed at the 3.5 to 4.0 level, over 50% of the balls that are going out are being hit every single day. This is an epidemic.
Just the other day at the park, this happened. It really did. Why in the world would you hit an out ball going that far out? I tracked a red line going slowly behind the pickleball. If that ball kept going, that's where it's going. We'll come back to this later in the show.
So why is it so important to dodge a pickleball? Well, first of all, you won the point already, and you just let them back in it if you hit an out ball.
That's the first good point you made, Joey. And look how upset Mark is at Sandy. And Sandy deserves it, right? She shouldn't have hit that out ball. Let's look at it in slow motion. Honestly, all she had to do was nothing. That's it. Sandy, I'm going to give you a call.
So Gizmo was a furry character in Gremlins. Every time you gave Gizmo water, it multiplied and it made gremlins. And this is why I will be soaked by the end of this video. But when you hit out balls, you fuel bangers. Giving your opponent permission to bang without punishment in pickleball is like giving Gizmo water. It's going to cause gremlins. They're going to multiply. Your partner's not going to be happy and you're going to get eaten alive.
Now let's improve. 5 minutes, no swinging. We're having our pickleball friend drive us 20 balls. We're just calling in or out. As simple as that. If you look at Mark's body, he's twisting, he's contorting, he's doing stuff he's not used to, and that's where the muscle memory is getting built in. There's two things happening when you're doing this. Number one, you're seeing the flight of the ball, you're seeing if it's going in or out, and you're realizing you don't have to swing at every ball to win the point. When we say in or out loud, we are building neurological connections in our brain. It works. I'm not a scientist, but look at Mark avoid these out balls. It takes skill to move out of the way, especially against a really good 5-0. This is the first progression. We're going to keep moving right now.
So how do we know that a ball is going out? We can say let it fly or tell our partner not to hit it, but how do we know? First, if the ball's going fast at shoulder level, it's probably going out. So just let it fly. But you say, Joey, with heavy topspin, this may go in. This is true. However, percentages are with us, so we just let it fly.
We're swinging now, still calling in or out. Still building those connections in our brain. I need this. I hit so many out balls when I play 5-0s and pros because the ball's going so much faster. I'm not used to it. This is a great way to practice. I would recommend doing it 3 times a week. It does really help.
Of course, this still could land in with the new paddles. However, percentages are still on our side. Second, most full swings from the kitchen from your opponents will go out because I'm hitting the ball pretty low. So as soon as you see your opponent load up and that ball is low, get out of the way, dodge it. One more thing, sometimes you don't have a chance to get out of the way. Block that with that backhand.
This is the final progression, right? We practice the drives. Now we practice not hitting out balls from the kitchen line with 3 people. This is how you set it up. Start off by dinking cross court, and the person's gonna speed it up vertically just like that, right? I would say I would like progressions with 3 people as well. Start off by not hitting out balls at all. Then just hit the ones you think are going in. Keep calling in or out, especially in a tournament. And of course, you never give gremlins water.
Pickleball lovers, take a look at that video. It was so good. Don't forget to have a good day. Don't forget to not hit out balls. And don't forget this. Don't give Gizmo water. We don't want gremlins. Jesus! Honestly, if you're still not getting better at pickleball, just watch the last tutorial. But we're going to go on to the next. Save 10% on any paddle. And thanks for watching. How do we look quicker in pickleball without actually being quicker? Simple. We just easily communicate with our partner and tell them to build a wall. That way they can't get you. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day.
The red that just popped up is the area the near court needs to defend. On the other hand, Mike didn't cover his area, right? He's a pro. He would tell you himself, David was pinching middle. His duty was sideline. He should be guessing sideline. Why? Because at 2 5-0s, that was that strategy. David has a super fast backhand counter. Take a look at this point. Mike knows where David is, right? He knows David has a super fast backhand counter and it's a great place to speed it up. Mike sped it up directly in front of him because he knew David was pinching middle and they had the angle. If he would have sped it up cross court in that situation, David wouldn't have been happy.
The wall concept is exactly how it sounds, right? You build a wall with your partner so you understand what to defend. You have less space to defend, so you look quicker.
So Mike and Dave changed their strategies. The places they defend is now the middle. They have to build the wall in the middle, and that's the red. Look at David. He keeps putting the ball back to middle, because he wants them to attack his super fast backhand. He's just baiting them in. And he gets what he wants right there. If you like to watch the PPA Tour, who does this? Dylan Frazier. He basically keeps pushing the ball back to middle. They attack, he's quicker, they win. One other thing, when I'm watching video of people that build walls, they build a perfect wall. They know what to expect. They look quicker. That partner's not making them look like a human piñata. Sound familiar, folks? And look at this point. What else does building a wall help you do? It helps you know where to speed it up, right? Mike knows he's not speeding it up down the middle, and he wins. And David knows Mike's speeding the ball up down the line, and David knows what to expect.
So if I'm in a dinking battle and I speed it up with my forehand, when I'm close to the sideline, I'm staying on that sideline and building that wall because I know my partner is pinching middle.
And the gods of the Senior Pro Tour even build walls. Mircea and John Sperlin are on the defensive in this example, but they still stick to the wall concept, stick together, and win. I know it's like a team building activity, but take a look. So John Sperlin knows Mircea is going to pinch middle regardless, so John keeps hitting down the sideline. He's not resetting cross court because then Mircea would be in big trouble. So he speeds it up. He still gets in trouble, but Mircea stands his ground. He jumps one step back. This is so important. One step back, then he resets and he can put the ball away. The team in the near court builds the perfect wall in this example. They target perfectly, and the team in the forecourt does a horrible job of building the wall. Let me explain. As a player in the far right gets targeted, they get pulled out wide, that partner needs to pinch middle, and it doesn't happen, right? And even worse, they sped it up cross court, and any 5-0 player would tell you it's a mortal sin. That lady would too. She's amazing, by the way. She hits the best lobs. I have the best video.
This concept is so simple, but it's getting our partner to buy into the concept. Tell them we look quicker. We can do it. We'll win more matches, and I'll play more tournaments with you, and I won't switch partners.
So basically start out with positive reinforcement, and if it fails, switch to negative. And again, my point with the wall concept is you know where to speed it up, you look quicker, and you make less mistakes. If she would have sped it up cross court in this situation, no one would have been there to defend. In mixed doubles, usually the man is playing middle, he's pinching more, and walls are built more, especially at the higher levels. You can see it right here. And again, the man in the white shirt is not going to speed it up cross court. He's keeping them back, right? He's pushing them back, but he's pushing them back down the line. He's not going cross court because no one's covering cross court. And this is a good example. We have a left-handed player, 2 forehand middles, and they want to speed the ball up down the middle, not down the sideline. You see the red, you see the wall they're protecting. Let's see what they get, and they get what they want with the wall. Let's see it one more time in slow motion. I'm having a little too much fun with this. Try this concept at a rec play court near you today. It's not that complicated.
Pickleball lovers, are there any other tutorials you want me to do? Leave them in comments. This is all I do for a living, so I'll get it done, hopefully in the next day or two. Please subscribe, please save 10% on any paddle, and don't forget. If you forget one thing in life, don't forget this. To have a good day. Always.